Welcome to the show, everyone. It's the Crypto Lark. Today we're going to be talking about Seal Network. They're aiming to fight the global counterfeiting epidemic with your mobile phone using their product authenticity verification services, connecting in with NFC chips. We're going to be breaking down just what all of this means after a massive thank you to all of you guys who keep hitting that like button, commenting on the videos, sharing this around the internet. Your support of the channel makes all the difference, guys. So thank you so much. And of course, you have to remember that this is not professional financial advice, guys. This is just a dude talking about cryptocurrencies on the internet. This is an ICO. Please do your own due diligence for investing your own money, because there's always a certain amount of inherent risk in investing in any ICO. Unfortunately, this sale does exclude citizens of the United States. Furthermore, the team at Seal Network has reached out to me to do a sponsored review of the project. However, I have, of course, reserved the right to do an open and honest review. So let's get into it. Let's try to understand the problem that Seal Network wants to solve, and that problem is counterfeiting. It is gargantuan in scale, currently worth hundreds of billions of dollars annually. That figure could be well over $1 trillion in the coming years, according to some estimates. Of course, this is a big problem for brands because it massively reduces their profitability, and they have to have whole sections dedicated to fighting counterfeiting, as well as potentially dangerous products. It may be one situation to get some counterfeit Nikes. It's a whole different situation when you're getting counterfeit medicine or counterfeit car parts. Then it becomes a danger issue. And you have to remember, it's not your grandma counterfeiting Nikes in order to save kittens. No. This is organized crime, guys, on a massive scale. Furthermore, the secondary market, it's almost impossible to determine if something is genuine or not. If you see an Armani shirt for sale on eBay or something, well, it's very difficult to determine if that is actually the product or not. So what we see is a situation where we have existing solutions that are just not really working in order to prevent counterfeiting, because the industry is only growing every year. By the way, this is being founded by a Dutch company with years of mobile experience, and we already have a working product, which I love to see in an ICO. Now, a quick overview of what Seal's aiming to do. Essentially, they want to give product-specific services via tokenizing physical products. So that could include things like transferring ownership, theft prevention, insurance, but also a real potential for brand activation campaigns, product analytics, and so on and so forth. Now, let's break down in a little more detail exactly how this solution is going to work. We have to start with NFC chips, because essentially the NFC chips are going to be communicating with the Seal blockchain, where your product will be registered so you can see the history and the authenticity of that product. An NFC chip is a near field communication chip. It activates when you put your phone near it. The chips are tamper resistant, and they're also highly encrypted for security, and they only cost 25 cents a piece. So if you are Armani and you're selling a $200 t-shirt, 25 cents for an NFC chip in order to ensure authenticity then becomes a very small cost of that. Now, you'll check that NFC chip using your Seal app. And you have to remember that currently these brands are spending so much money on anti-counterfeiting. They're going to help them save money, and they're also going to help them ensure the quality of their branding globally. Let's talk about the features that are already implemented on Seal Network. The first, of course, is being able to verify the authenticity of a product. So you can go and actually check the authenticity of that product as a consumer. The second is registry of ownership. So this lets you claim the ownership over a product, and that's very useful for insurance purposes, but also for the peer-to-peer transaction purposes, and also for theft prevention. Imagine if somebody steals your bicycle, you can say, well, this is my bicycle, here's the proof, I have the chip to back it up. And of course, you can transfer ownership of something as well, register that on the blockchain. And interestingly, this will also allow brands to really earn money on that secondary market, which is a big feature that I think really needs underlining here, because that is just a whole new potential for brands to not only engage with customers, but also to take care of their bottom line. And what about the features that are still to be implemented? Well, we mentioned theft prevention earlier, but that's simply about claiming ownership of the product. They've actually got a feature coming up that will let you mark a product as lost or stolen. So that if somebody finds it or steals it and then tries to resell it, well, that's already a tagged product, which is pretty cool. Now you can track parallel trade, so a brand can track the origin of a product, but also see where it's being sold on secondary markets. That's great data analytics for a brand. Product recalls, we go back to our bicycle. If your bicycle has a fault that the handlebars are killing babies, well, you'll get a notification on your app saying, please return your bicycle to get new handlebars. As an example, product analytics are going to be really important for brands because they're always looking for ways to increase efficiency, increase that bottom line, and have better interactions with their customers. And increased analytics, of course, will help them do that. They'll also have custom integrations where brands can use tokens to pay for API calls that will help redirect customers to a custom source, such as an app or a browser, which could also be a really great way of getting the branding across to customers, and will also have the potential for loyalty rewards points. How about that token? Now, it is a utility token, so this will be the currency of authenticity. It'll be used to pay for services by brands and consumers, which of course may include those loyalty rewards points in the future. If it is used as a settlement layer, so if you want to pay for something using Seal Network tokens, well, that automatically claims the ownership by default. Now, Seal will be keeping 25% of the fees. That's how they're, of course, monetizing this whole thing, but they're also going to be burning 5% of the fees. And now that, I think, is an important thing to point out here, because as time goes on, and if this gets some merchant adoption, you could actually see some really good increases on the token value as the burn goes on over time. It's time to talk about the team. Now, the team is being led by Bart and Joris. These guys both have great experience in running their own businesses, starting their own businesses, both very intelligent dudes. The one thing you might flag immediately, though, that Joris is the chief operating officer and the chief technical officer, so he's trying to wear two hats at the same time, although apparently he was a child prodigy who began writing code at the age of 6, so I suppose if anyone is able to wear two hats at once, it would probably be Joris. If you look down through the list, it is a medium-sized but growing team without a doubt. We have 3 people working on blockchain, including a guy named Jewel, who's got a lot of really great blockchain experience. And if we start to look at the advisors, one person I really want to highlight for you is someone named Max Blom. Now, he has ties to React. React is the anti-counterfeiting network that spans 90 countries and has over 250 members covering all areas of industry. That is a massive advisor to have on board when you're focusing on anti-counterfeiting. Wow. If Max can really connect them with these different industries, this could be a very, very important person to have on the advisory board. And I also want to underline some of the partners and really the important links that Seal Network has already. The big one has to be NXP Semiconductors. Now, they're using them for their NFC chips, but this is a massive, massive partner. They are cornering 80% of the market currently, which is really big. They're also the only blockchain tech company that is part of the International Anti-Counterfeiting Coalition, which has fellow members like Apple, Nike, Burberry, and Rolex, which is very impressive. And they're also in the Enterprise Ethereum Alliance. So that is a great list of names and advisors and potential customers of their product, which is pretty awesome. Let's have a look at the roadmap. And I'm quite encouraged by the roadmap because they're going to have the product launch in Q3 of this year, which is only a few months away. That, of course, is the bonus of having a working product already. Bringing it to market will not be that hard. Next year, they're mostly going to be focusing on how to improve services, improve data analytics. But looking a bit farther forward, it also gets very interesting. And if they hit their hard cap, this may even happen sooner, they want to create their own blockchain. So currently, this will be running on Ethereum. But they're already thinking, let's do our own blockchain. That could be more efficient and a better solution for us in the future. And of course, they're also looking at expanding to South Korea and Japan if they do hit the hard cap as well. Before we get into the details of the token sale, there were some concerns I did want to go over with you guys. The first one has to be VeChain. Well, more specifically, the competition. But I want to highlight VeChain because they're kind of the big player right now in supply chain and authenticity verification. VeChain's also using NFC chips, and they also want to help brands with the counterfeiting problem. That being said, though, VeChain does do a little more focus on supply chain, whereas Seal Network, they're more focused on really enabling brands, enabling customers. You have these little things like, the secondary market potential, which is going to be very big, or enabling customers to flag their item as stolen, which are all great features. But essentially, you have to remember, VeChain's not going to do everything, nor is Modem, nor is Wabi. It's great to have more players in the space, and when you look at some of the similarities between Seal Network and VeChain, and of course consider the growth that VeChain has had, it certainly makes you stop and consider for a moment. The other thing has to be merchant adoption. This is perhaps the biggest one. Now look, they've got a lot of great partnerships and people involved as advisors, so this may not be such a big thing, but nevertheless, you do have to convince all these giant global brands to use your product and not simply to develop their own product. That will be a challenge for some of these really big companies that might want to do it their own way or might be hesitant to incorporate a third party. And perhaps one final thing I want to mention too, Big Brother. There will always be people who look at the microchip everything world that we're kind of moving towards and go, that is not the world I want to live in. Well, that is the world we are going to be living in. I think it brings a lot of positive features and a lot of good things as far as being able to counter these criminal industries that are happening, and of course have more control over the items that you own. Let's talk about the details of the token sale. There will be a total of 1.2 billion tokens. 492 million will be going up for sale during the token sale. That's, of course, 41% of the total. 13% we kept back for the team and the advisors, 7% for influencers, 22% to fund future operations, which I really like to see. That means that they're going to have a lot of money for their war chest to help get these partnerships, to help get this out marketing-wise. And they're also going to be keeping 17% aside for research and development, which is a huge percentage and is very encouraging as well. I think that really shows their commitment to trying to deliver really awesome projects in the future. Of course, bringing their own blockchain in, bringing in next level NFC chips. This could be very, very interesting. That's a lot of money potentially. If they reach the same market cap as VeChain, for example, that'll be a giant war chest for R&D and a giant war chest to fund the future operations of the company. It'll be 7,000 tokens for 1 Ethereum. Now, there is a lot of opportunities for Seal Network. The secondhand market can be really huge. This can help really drive adoption as brands can benefit from this. The anti-counterfeiting angle, also massive. I really like the vision of the company. They're going to save businesses money, and they're going to help brands take more control of their products, as well as helping consumers take more control of their products. We have a working product. The partnerships are awesome. The advisors, particularly Max Blum, could really help connect them to a lot of companies that would really want to be working with their product. So a lot of potential here for this one. But hey, that's just the two satoshis of a dude talking about cryptocurrencies on the internet. You guys will let me know what you think about this in the comment section down below. Long live blockchain, and peace out till next time.